Hi guys, welcome to Overbite Gaming, and a bit of a different video for you today, in the fact that I want to talk about a movie. Now, I've done it in the past, it never really goes down well, but it's my channel, so fuck off. I'm doing this quite late notice as well, because I have been under the weather, as I alluded to in my previous video.
And it's almost finished.
Sorry, that was legit.
So if
I'm just going to try and do the video and control my cough. I went to do it yesterday, but basically spent 2 hours coughing. So anyway, the movie I want to talk about, if you are blind and haven't seen the thumbnail, is the new Hellraiser. Now, I'll get it out right ahead of time and say, basically, I enjoyed the movie, it's a good movie. It's probably, if I were to rank it in the Hellraiser series, I'd probably put the first 4 ahead of it, and then this one. Jamie Clayton, while everybody was very concerned at the announcement of the casting, I think it makes sense, because, you know, who better to play someone that's been mutilated than someone that's, you know, because she's a trans woman, so she's had experience of having her body molded into something else, so I suppose that makes sense, and she does a good job in it, and is easily the best Pinhead since Doug Bradley. Obviously not as good as Doug, but better than the sort of, I think, 2 or 3 actors that have tried him in between. Much better. I did enjoy it. It has a lot of imagery which is consistent with the first couple of movies, and it nails the tone as well. So overall, I would recommend watching it. I do have a couple of issues with it, unfortunately. The first one is a little bit minor one, but the protagonist is very unlikable for most of the movie.
it's really nice.
Her name's Riley, and she's a drug addict and makes a lot of bad decisions.
What is it?
And you're just like, yeah, I don't really like her. I mean, I'm speaking purely as a male chauvinist here, but she's also not very attractive, so I couldn't even like. I couldn't even like do the whole Until Dawn thing, where I'm like, yeah, I don't care if you're a bitch, you're attractive. Sorry, that's just the power women have. The second thing I didn't really go much on was the depiction of the Cenobites. They've changed the designs quite a lot, so they don't wear like the sort of black bondage stuff anymore. Their clothes are essentially their skin that's been like altered and pulled and cut and slit and scarified into sort of clothes. Although quasi clothes, I suppose, would be a better term. I just don't like the look of it. Chatterer especially looks terrible because he looks like he's wearing a Starfleet uniform. They've kind of like cut it off from like just below his shoulder, so it looks like he's got like the two-tone thing that Starfleet uniforms had in TNG. So no, I didn't like that. They also changed the way they operate quite a lot. Before I move on to that, let's actually, I think the way they've dealt with a lot of the scarification and mutilation of the Cenobites is well over the top. You remember, like, in the first couple of movies, the female Cenobite had her throat flayed open and sort of pinned the sides of the skin to her neck. Well, that's not good enough nowadays. We'll do that, but we'll stretch it out to our shoulders. It just looks cartoonish. It's overdone.
It's a puzzle.
It's far scarier when it's pulled back, because you can imagine it being done rather than what looks just completely like a cartoon. I also have a problem with one of the Cenobites. I think his name's Mask. Basically, he doesn't have a head. He just has like a face skin stood up at the front, and you can see through his eyes, and it's hollow, and there's no head there. How is he functional? I get the Cenobites do have really unpleasant things happen to them, but like not having a head seems to be like he'd be pretty non-functional as a Cenobite. I'm just saying. So the way they've changed their behaviour as well. So the box now doesn't just open, so you don't call the Cenobites by opening the box. It has like six configurations that it goes through, which equate to the end game basically. So you take it through the 6 configurations, you get to the end one, you get an audience with Leviathan, and then you basically get to pick something from. I mean, each one of the configuration represents like love, power, sensation, knowledge, resurrection, stuff like that. But you have to kill somebody. So the way they do it is, every time you manipulate the box into a new configuration, it basically juts out a blade with the intention of like stabbing the user. And once you've been jabbed by the blade, the Cenobites then come and kill you.
Isn't it?
And then it reconfigures, and then, you know, you have to do it again and again and again until you get to the end. Well, I mean,
what is it?
There's that line in Hellraiser 2 where Pinhead says it's not hands that call us, it's desire. Because the Cenobites come to people that want them. Okay, they may not know what they're getting into by quite a large degree, but they're there to sort of... They've sort of experienced everything that they think they can on Earth, so they want sort of further, more extreme experiences. So they hunt down the box to get access to the extreme pleasures contained within. Now, the Cenobites have a slightly different idea about what pleasure entails, but essentially they've got willing supplicants. In this, you just jab people with the box, and the Cenobites come along and murder/kill them. I don't like it as much. It takes away from their appeal, if you like.
Time. Greater delights.
I don't know.
We wish to see.
I mean,
Proceed.
and they don't seem to take them away to a hell dimension and, you know, spend eternity learning their flesh. No, they just seem to kill them.
All for us.
I mean, they specifically say, you know, your brother's end was exquisite. So it doesn't sound like he's still getting tortured. It sounds like he's dead. So, yeah, I don't know about that. That kind of like ruins them a little bit for me. And then there's also a scene where, I shit you not, one of the Cenobites pursues our leads like Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He just like howls and waves his arms around and runs after them. It's just like, dude,
It's a puzzle.
have some class. You're a Cenobite. Fuck's sake. You know?
It's almost finished.
Keep going. I mean, the fact that they just basically turn up to murder people to satiate the blood of the box, and
Do I get a prize?
just act like killers rather than what they actually are, that kind of turns me off. But outside of those complaints, it is a good movie. There is a couple of scenes showing them doing like Cenobite-y things, which is pretty good. I mean, one standout is Pinhead puts a needle from her head through the throat of a victim, and then works it back and forth as she screams, changing the pitch. Now that's something I can see the Cenobites doing. You know, playing their victims like a musical instrument. That just fits. That's great. But a lot of the other kills are just like either off screen or pretty just getting like wrapped in wire and cut up. I'm just like, I really, the fact that because they no longer like steal people away to spend an eternity torturing them, they're just there to kill them. So, I mean, none of the deaths are particularly pleasant, I'll give you that, but... Oh, and producers, note, if you cut around a piece of skin, it doesn't roll down, it's all attached, yeah?
Beautiful.
So it won't just like slump down the arm because you've cut it up the top. It is attached.
You can hold it.
Just saying. I mean, it was an effective visual, but that's not how skin works.
What is it?
Cool.
It's a puzzle.
Anyway, guys, before I cough up my guts anymore, I'm trying to contain it, but it's not easy because it's like, oh, it's. I mean, I feel okay, but it's just like this cough is just killing me. Oh. Oh. But yeah, so that's what I gotta say about Hellraiser. It's a good movie. They've made some interesting choices that I don't necessarily agree with. I mean, I understand that it's, you know, not a continuation of the series, it is a new thing. So saying something happened in the old movies and didn't happen in this, or, you know, they acted differently, it's kind of not necessarily as an effective argument, because this is a brand new thing and things are happening differently. But at the end of the day, I just think the changes they've made have been for the worse in the regards that I've spoken of. Why is that? Never mind. My PC's doing funny things. I think it's sympathising with me. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think of the new Hellraiser down below, and I'll catch you next week. I'm off to cough up things into the toilet. Probably like, I don't know, Persian cats. Ugh. Take it easy, guys.